12 Days of Christmas, day number 5. Today, I'm telling you the 5 platforms that I could not live without as a business owner and how I picked them and what they do for our business. Let's dive on in. Number 1, Kajabi. Listen, I started my journey on Kajabi. I went to many other platforms and I have come back full circle. I think how you make decisions as a business owner is so important. So I'm going to be really clear and honest about why we're back on Kajabi. It starts and stops with the fact that we are adding digital courses and group coaching programs to the mix. Some of them already exist. Some of them are in the works for next year. And in my opinion, Kajabi is the best place for coaches and course creators where, for the most part, you can be a one-stop shop. And fun fact, we actually use it to publish the podcast. We use it for the Get Shit Done Club exists over there now. We use it for group calls, one-on-one calls, foundations, which is my course that is supported through all the different coaching that I do. And that is why we ultimately decided to come back to Kajabi. Now, there are other education platforms out there. My reason for Kajabi is I knew it. Since I started on it, it was familiar. Cost-wise, it's not cheap. I will be transparent about that. However, knowing I can trim down, I don't need a website platform anymore. We can do that on Kajabi. I don't need a podcasting publishing platform anymore. We can do that on Kajabi. We can trim the fat on some of these other platforms and be all in on this one. I also love the community, and I love the dedication to constantly growing and evolving with their clientele. So for all of those reasons, we chose Kajabi. This is not a review of Kajabi by any means, but that is why we made that decision, and that is what we use for website, podcast, emails, Get Shit Done Club, courses, eventually group coaching, one-on-one coaching, remaster, and eventually will be a place for the freebie coming in 2025. So Kajabi does a lot of things. Number 2, could not live without Canva. I don't think I'm alone in this. I am not a design person. Believe it or not, I would not identify as a design person. To throw it way back, I actually used to be the editor-in-chief of my high school newspaper. And even before that happened, I was a designer for, I don't even think I was officially a designer. I think I was a section editor, which meant you would pull together the stories and in the photos you would lay it out. But I never, ever have it identified as a designer. It is not within my skill set. So something like a Canva is so helpful in creating things that look pretty, and something that I'm really passionate about, look pretty with a purpose. So shout out to Bex, who did all my branding. It gave me like a brand Bible, like rules to follow for my brand. And we implemented all of them in Canva. We have templates out of our ears. We have all of our brand photos in there. We have our brand colors, our brand voice, all of that is already set up. So Canva for our brand is super plug and play. Anyone could come in and just, as long as they follow our brand guidelines and all the things that are set up, could probably create something beautiful from it. I have yet to find a platform that does what Canva does, and I would argue I probably don't even use it to its full potential. But anytime you're needing templates, graphics, gosh, I even used it for Thanksgiving for some recipe cards and for the invitations. I think I used it for a thank you card for the wedding. Like, there's so many different applications for Canva. But anytime you need to design something pretty easily and you want it to look pretty and you want it quick, Canva is your go-to. Platform number 3, couldn't live without. Not a sexy one, but a staple in the Kelsey Marie coaching world is Google Drive. Now I know there's OneNote and OneDrive, all these different other cloud-based systems, but here's what I love about Google Drive. And here's how we use it. Because again, I think as business owners, the why matters. Okay. Google Drive is super easy to share across other platforms. That's one thing I love. So like Kelsey Marie Coaching, we use it a ton in-house, but we also share templates with people who are outside of our organization via Foundations, the course that I have. So Google Drive is a great way where I can be like, hey, here's a link to this template that you can make a copy of. Because then instead of having a downloadable PDF that you can't edit, you can copy this template and then you can have your own version in-house saved, so then you can edit and modify to your liking. I wish there were developers, listen to me. I wish there was a way where I could create templates that were not on Google Drive that someone could click the link on and not have to clone, but just them clicking on it clones it automatically and they can modify and edit to their liking. I have yet. And it's pretty and editable like Canva. Like if Canva and Google Drive had a baby, whew, that would be amazing. But that doesn't exist yet. But all that to say, we use Google Drive for our KPIs. We use it for all of our SOPs, which is standard operating procedures. If someone wants to come on the podcast and I think they'd be a great fit, steps A to Z, here's every little micro step, every email, every message, every follow-up, every post, every podcast edit. Here's all of the steps that have to happen to execute on the idea of you coming on as a guest to you coming on as a guest. All of that stuff lives in Google for in-house stuff. I love the suggestion feature where we can write comments to each other so we can kind of make notes on our documents. I love using it for content creation. I, in fact, have all my podcast notes for these series pulled up here. And guess what? It's on a Google Doc in the podcast drive. So big fan of Google Drive. I just find it's the best place to collaborate either internally or also externally outside of your organization. My opinion, OneDrive is not as friendly if you're going outside of your organization. Number 4 platform I could not live without currently as a business coach is this, Instagram. I hate that I'm even saying this, but it's true. If I had to cut every other platform and I could only be active and commit to posting on one platform, it would be Instagram. Here's why, because the why matters. My target market's on Instagram, most of them. A small handful are actually probably on LinkedIn if we're thinking long-term big picture for my business, but majority of my people, the most bang for my buck is on Instagram. Instagram is also a great home for authenticity, which if you were here for yesterday's video is something that's really important to my brand. I'm authentic. I want to work with people who are authentic or true to themselves. They know who they are. And it's a way where I can connect in different mediums. It can be really visual, but it can also be a place for this kind of stuff. And I think in general, it's just the most bang for my buck. If I had to pick one social media platform, majority of my clients at one point in time either follow me, connect with me, or found me on there. So it definitely is a piece of the bigger puzzle of my business. And also, here's the big thing. I don't hate it. In a dream world, I talk about this all the time. I would love to have chickens, live in a hobby farm in Montana, and live like the Yellowstone life. Like that would be my dream. But that's not my current reality. And if I have to be social on a platform, I love Instagram for that. It's the one I'm going to check personally, and it's the one that I'm going to post on and commit to professionally. And then the last platform that I would pick as a business owner that's like a non-negotiable is LastPass. LastPass is a secure network, a secure password saver. And what I love about it is the ability to share passwords with team members. So this is the most brilliant move I made. Please, if nothing else, take this little hack if you have team or contractors you work with in your business, or even clients who you share passwords with, potentially, if they share them with you. I created a support email for my business, and all of the LastPass requests go to that one support email. So if I ever end up working with someone else, which I can't even imagine, I would literally cry if my person left me. Don't leave me, Bailey. But that being said, we set it up so that it's all tied to that support email, which is Kelsey, tied to my brand. So then I would just change the password on that one thing versus having to change it on all these other places, which is a total lifesaver. But LastPass, what I love about it is instead of saying, yeah, my password's 1234 dance cutie pie 87792, instead of sharing that embarrassing bit of knowledge, I share a link via email. It embeds on their browser. They can save these passwords so it will log them in, but they don't have to have it written out in chicken scratch. They don't have it visible. It's just shared via their web browser, which is way cool. I feel so much more secure with that. And also, how many times do you have to make a new password for your business? And you're like, what was that again? I save a ton of my own passwords in my own LastPass so I can automatically log into things. I just log into my master LastPass world. And then from there, I have the ability to auto sign in. And for me, that works wonders. Prior to LastPass, I was writing this all down in a notebook, and then I'd have to bring my notebook everywhere. And, oh, is that a 0 or an O? Was that capital or lowercase? I can't tell. It's just a mess. So to recap, 5 platforms that I think are brilliant for most business owners, not all, but most. Kajabi if you're in coaching and courses and that kind of thing. Canva to make things pretty and efficiently, make it pretty and on brand. Google Drive if you're collaborating in-house but also outside of house. Instagram for social media if your people are there. And the last one, LastPass, if you're sharing passwords or people need to sign into your stuff. And that could also be client related or that could be team related. So thank you so much for joining me on day number 5. Can't believe it. And I will see you tomorrow at day number 6. Oh, and before I forget, we're running a contest over here on YouTube. All you have to do to enter is make sure you subscribe to my channel at Kelsey Marie Knutson, comment on all of these 12 days of Christmas videos on YouTube, and also feel free to comment on any of the December reels that you see posted throughout the month. We're going to put everyone's name in a drawing and select that winner in the new year after the 12 days of Christmas wraps up. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But I just want to remind you, if you win, you have an opportunity to do some 2025 planning with me, a business coach, and you get to come guest on the Get Shit Done podcast in 2025. So lots to look forward to. Thanks for being here. Hope to see your name entered into the drawing and can't wait to catch you in the next one.